God was like, okay, well, let's see. You can do whatever you want, but don't touch his life.
Yeah.
Satan was like, okay, I bet he cuss you out. And God was like, okay, we'll see, but just don't take his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Satan went and did his thing.
And he still fell, and he still fell down and prayed to God.
Yeah, because he was like,
God give it, and he'll take it away.
And then Satan went back like, whatever. I bet I didn't touch him, but I bet if you let me touch his flesh, because your veins.
Oh yeah, and gave him them boils and stuff.
I bet he'll cuss you out then if you let me give him a disease and sickness and all of that, make him ugly.
But then he used his wife. He used his wife to say, just curse God and die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the thing. You know, you use the person closest to you.
Yeah.
To try to convince you to do something that you know is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he still would not do it.
He still wouldn't do it.
That's why I thought like those 7 days was so significant to me. Those 7 days of him, 7 days of him and his friend sitting quietly was so significant. And you said 7 was what in the biblical sense?
Perfection.
Perfection.
You know how,
Completion.
Yeah, the number of completion, the number of perfection, because God created heaven and earth in 7 days, and so I guess 7 is so significant to them. Like you can't, you know how and I think because we don't have, people have traditions and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We really as black people, because we don't know who we are, we don't have we have traditions, but some of our traditions is rooted in spiritualism and voodoo stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they was like, since God created all of this in 7 days, we're gonna create a mourning period, like okay.
Yeah, for what Job is going through.
Yeah, so 7 days is okay. You got 7 days to mourn, get right, and then we'll talk.
But you know what I did? What I did, like, because we always pray and intercede on behalf of our children.
Right.
Every time his kids would have a party and he felt like they could have committed sin against God in their hearts, he went and he would pray for them and like give sacrifice on their behalf. So he felt like he was covering his children. And then now because the devil bored, because that's really gave the presence that the devil was bored and he was just looking for something to do.
Yeah.
So God gave him that challenge. The challenge was Job, and because of Job's heart and how he honored and believed and trusted God, he said, okay, go ahead, go to my faithful servant Job then. And test him. And he said, but you can't have his life. You can't. He put limitations on him. You can't have his life. So what is amazing to me is we as people, we achieve so many different things in this world, right?
Right.
And any time that there's any adversities, we question God.
Right.
But we're willing to accept all the goodness, all the materialistic, all the ambitions, things that we can cross off our list. We willing to accept all his favor, but we're not willing to accept adversities. Immediately we believe is the devil against us, somebody talking against us and doing stuff against us. But in all things, God is always trying to mature us and help us to grow. And we don't understand that in the adversities, like Job said, God giveth and he can take it away. In the adversities, God is there and he's covering you. Because see how he covered Job? You can you can do everything but take his life. He covered him in the sense of, I still want my faithful servant here, but test him. Because, you know, everything that we go through is a test. And if we like flip our switch, meaning our mind, and say, okay, this is just a test, but I know God got me, we can overcome so much. And I realize that when I'm going through the test, because I stayed stuck and focused on the test and not focused on God, I stayed in that testing period longer than I probably should have. But because he continually went to God and still prayed to God, you know, it was hard. I can tell you about the story. It's hard because you think about it having boils. Just like when they told me that I had an autoimmune disorder, that really shut me down. That really had me question, like, what, God? I'm eating healthy. I'm doing what's right. I'm taking good care of myself. Why? You know what I'm saying? But why not me?
No, it's like we look at stuff and you be like, oh God, but then it's like, that's when you gotta trust him. It's easy.
Trust him.
It's like how he was saying, yeah, it's easy to trust you.
Yeah.
When you blessing him.
That's what Satan said. Like, yeah, he's gonna be faithful because you've been blessing him this whole time. You ain't did anything to shake him up, basically. So his faith is really firm in you because he got all this materialistic stuff. The cattle, the sheep, all this stuff. Got servants.
He had a life of abundance.
Of leisure. Yeah.
He had a lot of children. He had
Yes. 7 boys and 3 girls.
You're just an overflow.
Yeah. So that's a blessing. He's really, really, like you said, abundance. A life of abundance. When you think about leisure, they had houses for the kids.
Yeah, like
to go partying.
Like the Kardashians of life of abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Leisure. Servants.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so it's like, why wouldn't he serve you? That's what Satan said. Why wouldn't he serve you and honor you? Because you giving him everything. So then the test comes. So the Satan thing, I'm gonna test him. I'm gonna do all this stuff to him. Now he done wiped out his children, took away all his possessions. He still got his wife, right? So go ahead.
But bitter. You got a wife, but she's bitter.
Yeah, the wife is bitter because the wife used to all this life of luxury. You done took that away from her too.
Yep. And she is like, probably low-key blame him like, okay, because of you, now my life messed up.
Mm-hmm. So then he still falls to his knees and pray to God. But I'm so glad that we discussed earlier the significance of the tearing of the cloth. Because I was like, what is that about? Because the friend did it. He did it.
I remember Mordecai did it too in the book of Esther. When they decreed that the death to them and stuff like that.
Yeah, just to show the anguish that they're feeling. The tearing of the clothes is to show the anguish. So... and I just thought that was like something significant that I was like, why do they keep doing this? I think I was using my mind of when I was in school, of like when you see something repeated, you know, a repetition within a story, it has something of significance.
Yeah.
So that's why my mind was like, what? I'm looking that up because I was like, what is this about? But it was really good, and I'm glad we went back and decided to go in and read it again and study it because I did get something different this time around.
Yeah. For me, the only way I can understand it, it has to be applicable to me.
Yes, yeah.
It has to be applicable to me. So that's why, you know, when we go back and we talk about it and we put it in our terms, like, so God was doing a monthly staff meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and he had everybody come in and report on what they did and what they not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
like, and then here comes Satan slithering in on the meeting. Yeah, like,
you know how you can just see him coming up there being nose like, I'm gonna go sit there what they do.
Mm-hmm. The guy said, what you come for? Like that. And he's like, I'm just roaming and doing this. Like, I'm just so bored. Well, God said, okay, go test my faithful servant Job then. He was like, well, he's always going to be faithful anyway, because you got him in a life of abundance and leisure.
Take that away. Take that away. Because that's true. When as soon as something happens, we always, oh my gosh, why? You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, I'm a firm one that would do it. Why? But you know what? I'm so glad.
But then I remember Job and be like, okay, God,
yeah,
your will be done. You know how you do an initial, it's like, because I'm telling you, when that girl called me and that car didn't start, Kim, Spirit said, when the enemy comes in like a flood, I will raise a standard. So that gave me peace. But like, okay, there's something wrong with the car. Probably gonna need to get fixed. Probably gotta take it back to Craig. Another expense, but God got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's something we have to get to. God got it.
God got it. And then I just, you know how he said that to me and gave me a peace about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I did have a peace about it.
That's why I said I'm glad that we started, because in my mind I had this warped sense of when you become saved you're not going to go through things, and you will.
I felt like I was a leisure.
Yeah, and you will have this life of leisure and all this other stuff, like what? And then so for me to retrain, this is me retraining my mind. Because Daniel, it really enlightened me. I saw my faults. I saw where I needed correction, and I really needed to change my way of thinking. And now reading the book of Job is really showing me how even the highest of high, even like the most loyal person in God's kingdom was tested. So if he can be tested, why not me?
Who are you?
So I really thank God for this. And we will be doing the book of David after Job.
Jesus can carry that cross.
Oh yeah. Yes. And my thing is, after this book of Job study, and we might be on the book of Job for a while though, because we might be on the book of Job for a while, because I really want to understand and get it. I just thank God for the push, the drive, the opening of my heart to seek him and to understand him, so that I can quit stumbling over the same things over and over again. I felt like I was stumbling. I felt like I wasn't really getting it. I really wasn't getting it. And what I mean by getting it, my relationship with God. I would pursue him, and I was happy, and I was loving God and everything, as long as things were going my way. As soon as I faced any adversity, my heart would shift into the wondering. Not saying I would shift and run away from God, because God was always part of my life, but I wasn't seeking him at that same momentum that I did as long as everything was going great for me. So now, with reading the book of Job and the book of Daniel, it's opening my eyes into the sense of, we're going to face adversity. It's what you do within that. What you do within the adversity depicts on how you'll become. So it's always like one of my best friends would tell me, just wait till you get to the other side. Like, keep going. Just wait till you get to the other side. Who are you going to become on the other side? In the midst of those adversities really depicts on your next level in life. Because if you can't get through it and still continue to seek God and honor him in his word, what are you going to do on the other side? Who are you going to be on the other side? I'm learning to allow God to be God, and within adversities seek him, and to still stay diligent within him, and not allow it to deter me in my heart to be swayed because everything's not happening the way I want it to happen. So
I want it right now.
yeah.
Now.
Girl, let me tell you about my rat now moment. This is embarrassing, but I want to share it with my rat now moment. So I wanted to be promoted so bad, so bad. I know you remember that time when I wanted to be promoted so bad. Everybody around me, when we had came in, we all came in together. We got hired on together. Everybody around me was in a different job. I was still in the same job. And I was like, I just want to be promoted so bad. I came home. And now that's when I was really heavily listening to Joyce Myers. But I came home, I got on my toilet, I done made myself cry and shake on the toilet. Just shake. Like, Lord, I just want it. And so I listened to Joyce Meyer, and she was like, you can't manipulate God. I was like, and that was manipulative right there. I could see it, and I remember that moment so vividly on how we want things when we want them. But God has to prepare us for what we're asking for. So there was work that I needed to do for that promotion. When the promotion finally came, I saw that, yeah, there was work for me to do to be prepared to walk into this next season.
But you know what? You can also take it too as, you know how it's somewhere in the Bible where it says, and the latter shall be greater.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally the latter, even though everyone else moved to different positions, your position is higher than everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that sense, because God kept you, it wasn't like punishment.
But I felt left though. I'm not gonna lie, in the moment I felt left.
Yeah, you did. I understand that. I mean, come on, that's like that's human.
I'm like, everybody gone doing something else. I'm still sitting here.
Testament of His word.
Mm-hmm.
This could be totally out of context. You know, I'm not a Bible scholar. However, you can see that because you were faithful and you waited and you said, okay, God, I erred, let me repent, ask forgiveness, and then patiently wait upon you. Now that your latter is better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, it's all things, God, you know. So it's like sometimes, you know, because I, you know, for one, I'm guilty of throwing me a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Falling out on the floor, crying, why me? I see them up over there. I see what you doing over there.
And I'm sitting here like, Lord, I'm ready. But you're not ready. Because if he bless you with all that stuff, what would happen to it? So if I would have got the promotion when I was having my tantrum, right?
You know what it is though, because I can say that I have seen man take it upon himself to place people in positions, and typically when a person is placed in a position and they're not ready, it is a travesty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen that personally. So when we ask God and not man, of course it's going to be done correctly. And in that, you may have to wait a few years.
Yeah.
Versus what you see man being promoted, but that's by man's standards. It's not God.
Yeah.
You know,
that's why I said
you can go lie and cheat, manipulate to get it easily, but is it gonna stand? Like,
yeah. Is it gonna withstand the test of time? Because a lot of times they lose it. We've seen where people have lost it because man placed them in a position, not God.
Yeah, the foundation is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. So that's why I say if I go
foundation.
If I go back and I just think back to then, or just think back on all different type of circumstances in my life, I realize that whatever I'm asking God for, or whatever that desire that's in my heart, there's work to be done before you get there. So instead of having the temper tantrums, just do the work. There's work to be done. So whenever we go to God and we are petitioning God and we're posturing our heart to seek Him, and if our desires align up with His will, there's work to be done before we get to the fruition of what we're asking for.
Yeah.
So
sometimes, to be honest with you, we're lazy. We
mm-hmm,
don't want to do the work. We're like, oh man, real talk. Just think about it. You ask your children to do something, and like, hey, mom, like, take for instance, your daughter wanting to drive. Okay, you want me to do something for you, but hey, go in there and take care of that room, clean up that room, and it's like, oh man, like, I don't want to do it, but you want me to bless you with something, right?
yeah.
And I'm about decency and order, and I want my house to be decent and in order, right?
Yes.
So go clean up your room.
It was good. It's really, that second time around really helped me. The first time I read it, but that second time is really good for me.
I'm guilty of being that person that needs like a second or third review.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say, like, sometimes it's like that when it's thee and thou art and though and thine. I be like, oh my gosh, Lord, I don't understand that. Like, okay, hold on, let me make it applicable to my everyday life. So that's how I was like, okay, they was having a staff meeting, and he came up over there being nosy and messy.
I'm bored. I'm just been roaming and going through and all this other stuff. I just need to find something to do.
And I think, like, for me, when you read that, it's like I don't understand, like, people's concept of worshiping Him when He got to answer to the Creator.
Yeah.
It's like y'all.
He had to seek permission to do anything. Yes.
That has to answer to someone else. And typically, like, on your in your like, when you get, like, if I call in, if I got a complaint, and I speak to a representative, and the representative is talking jibber jabbers. Okay, I'm done talking to you. I want to talk to the source, the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like I wouldn't honor somebody that has to answer to someone else. I don't get it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. And that's the thing. People don't understand how the hierarchy is. They don't understand that hierarchy, how it's God and Satan has to come to Him for permission. It's not Satan going and wreaking havoc the way he want to do. It's permission. And thing is, we also operate in, God has given us our free will too.
But people, like, the thing for me is, we all need to realize we're living in a fallen state.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're living under the curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing about it is, the wages of sin equals what?
Death. Mm-hmm.
So if you go out there and, I'm a good person, but I'm out here cheating, stealing, and sleeping with someone's husband or wife,
mm-hmm.
but I'm a good person, you still committed a sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you just opened yourself up to whatever the enemy. Now the enemy now has a legal right to come in. He got a legal right to come in because of your sin. And so those things happen. Then people want to cry, well, why God allowing that? Why God's doing it? It's like, but you opened yourself up to it because of the sin that you committed.
Yeah.
We all fall short. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All fall short. That's why we just got to get up and ask God to renew our minds daily and create a clean heart within us.
Yeah.
We all fall short. We all subject to that lion that's seeking whom he can devour.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't understand when people want to get mad with God when it's like sometimes,
we created ourselves. Yeah. But sometimes we created ourselves by what you said. When we fall into our own will and do things that's outside of God's will, we create the adversities. We create the pain. That's why in all things you should seek God first.
Seek ye first.
In all things, Because if you make a decision to go sleep with somebody's wife or husband, you did you seek God first? No.
I mean, you open yourself up
To whatever that comes from there.
yourself up to possibly be killed.
Yeah.
You have some them. Yeah.
Yeah. But y'all, this was a good word for us. We can go on and on and on. And I hope y'all enjoyed this because I wanted to do something that was a bit unorthodox. And I'll see y'all in the next video.